Hello and welcome everybody to a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. Charles and I are here, starting up the live video stream, and we'll be starting in about 3 minutes. And we've got a great show planned for you tonight, so sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
So I think I figured out what that issue was.
What issue?
Why last night my Mac was just acting foolish.
What was
3 minutes until showtime.
I just did a speed test on the Mac, which is on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
1.9 megabits down, not even one up.
Oh, that's bad. Something wrong with the Wi-Fi on it?
Well, I don't know. I hope not.
Hmm.
I hope not.
Well, what would cause it to choke like that?
Well, I'm not using a Mac router. I wonder if that's the problem.
No, I have a Mac. I'm using a Netgear router. It's not a Mac router.
Yeah, but you're hardwired.
Well, that's true.
MacBook Pro slow Wi-Fi connection.
2 minutes until showtime.
Hmm.
1 minute until showtime.
You going in the chat room?
In a minute, yes.
Mhm.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live. It's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, certified ethical hacker, Charles Tyndall.
Hey, Charles. We are in for a Thursday edition of the program.
Thursday.
And I got a great show planned for you tonight here on the program. It's in the second hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. And we got a very interesting first hour planned for you. If you want to get in on the action and, or talk to our guests, have a question or a comment, you can do so by calling us at 347-884-8881. That's 347-884-8881. I'll get you on and get you through. Email live, Live, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live, interactive, add-on chat room. Just go to our homepage at computeramerica.com, select the chat room/video button. It's also under the first pull-down menu. It'll ask for a username. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. Click the sign-in button, and your Java-enabled browser on a Windows machine, Mac, Linux, they all work. Will move you into the Computer America chat room. Also, sharing that same page is our live video streaming page. You can actually watch us now on Computer America. And, of course, the live Computer America video streaming page is brought to you by Other World Computing. Quality products, expert support since 1988. Now celebrating its 25th anniversary. If you have any Mac needs whatsoever, I'm talking memory, I'm talking solid-state drives, batteries for your legacy Mac that you can't find anywhere else. They've got it, you know, and please visit them at www.macsales.com. Any order you place that's over $49, you get free shipping too. So really, it's a win-win situation for everyone. Head over to macsales.com, and you're going to really like some of the things that they have there. And they've got their blog going on. It's truly a very interesting website, in addition to, you know, having some great bargains on things that you need for your Apple products. Okay, so Charles, I know that that this thing that they've had here, Reset the Net, is now going in full swing, and I think that's why you have the banner on your video.
It is indeed.
Yeah, and so that started technically today. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, you have to know what Reset the Net is, and for those of you who didn't listen to my rant last night, it's basically, I'm tangled in my cords.
Yeah.
Not that you're tangled in your cords, but it's basically, it's the 1-year anniversary of the first series of leaks from Edward Snowden, detailing that, you know, the Fed was, how you say, abusing their power to monitor their human race.
Listening in.
Yeah, they were listening into everything. And since then, people have been patiently waiting for the Fed to actually do something about that, and they haven't. So a couple of groups online, Mozilla did it, Google did it, Twitter did it, let's see, who Reddit, and a lot of other people have actually gone up and they've put a banner on their website, or they've upgraded their security mechanisms on their site to essentially to show that, you know, the reason that these guys can all do this is because there's this level of security that isn't on these websites, or that isn't available to the most consumers. So they went out and they started pushing the you know, use this type of chat program, use SSL on your website, be more secure so that these guys can't willy-nilly snoop and yank your stuff out of the air, so that it makes it harder for them and you don't fall victim of an unnecessary monitoring. And, you know, that's what my banner is all about. So now it's really, you know, I want everybody to know, you know, I support the movement. I think you should prevent the Fed and anyone else who might be snooping on your stuff from snooping on your stuff. I think that, you know, your internet should be your internet, and, you know, we could talk about net neutrality in the whole second hour if you want.
Yeah, all right. Well, we also have a lot of computer news, too, that we're going to be doing. And that, of course, brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So we'll see if we can mix things up a little bit. But right now, I want to get to our guest, who's patiently waiting in the wings. And this is really... Now, we normally have our Gamer Tuesday, but our...
Gamer Tuesday?
Yeah, our Gamer Tuesday.
But it's not Tuesday.
I know. Our booking goddess, Carissa, decided to... get him on because she thought it would be an interesting interview. And the company's called TreSensa, and what they do, they enable studios and brands to build and distribute commercial quality mobile web games. Now, unlike other game distribution platforms that require significant marketing budgets to drive game discovery, TreSensa's distribution platform secures a worldwide audience without cost by leveraging all available mobile game distribution channels, including mobile game portals, media sites, social gaming platforms, native apps, existing app stores, and emerging carrier game stores. Games built on TreSensa's platform are ultra-portable, do not require a download, and can be played directly with Facebook and Twitter's mobile experiences with just a click of a link. Now, here to talk with us in more detail about TreSensa is Rob Grossberg. Rob is the CEO of TreSensa. Rob, welcome into Computer America. How are you tonight?
Hey, Craig. Hey, Charles. Thanks for having me.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah. So why don't you? I mean, I kind of described it, but why don't you, in your own words, describe what TreSensa does do, and and who do you do it for?
Yeah, so your description was very good. We're focused in on distribution of mobile web games, and different people hear mobile web and they think different things. What we're talking about here is games that are can be powered by the mobile browser, or really it's any browser that supports a JavaScript runtime. So games built in HTML5, whether using our development technology or the other third-party game engines that are emerging for HTML5 mobile web games, these games could really live anywhere. And I think the real value here is to date, there's really just been two ways to get your games in front of people on smart devices, and that's been through Apple, through the Apple App Store, or through Google Play. Those are the two largest markets, and they're great spots for finding apps and games and whatnot. But they're very there's a lot of challenges that exist in getting games discovered through the app stores, and where we focused and where we saw the opportunity 3 years ago when we started the company was the fact that browsers were going to, we made a bet that mobile browsers would get stronger and stronger, and devices would get stronger and stronger, and that games would be, a whole slew of casual games would be viable right through the mobile browser. And we've seen that happen, and what we've seen is there's a real hunger for this type of content. There's a lot of channels out there where games could be supported outside of the app stores, and what we're as a company doing is aggregating all those channels, these various pockets of audiences out there who are looking for engaging, or there's audiences, and mobile games are probably the most coveted type of content on mobile. People are spending a third of their time on these devices playing games. So we're aggregating those audiences and giving developers and studios an alternative to the app stores. Actually, it's not so much an alternative. It's complementary. All our games we wrap for the various app stores. We see them just, they are a channel for distribution of games, and HTML5 games work within those channels. We just think there's the bigger and biggest opportunity is in these other pockets of spots where you could play games. And I think in your description you named a bunch of them, and we're very excited about it because a lot of companies are coming to us because they're hungry for this type of content, and to date they haven't been able to support it because it doesn't work in their experience to push a user to Apple or push a user to Google. A lot of companies have audiences and are looking to support it with game content, so we're sort of sitting in the middle, connecting studios and developers creating this content to all these emerging channels for these games.
Well, and I certainly can appreciate what you're saying, but yet, how is it then, if it's so difficult, how is it something like Flappy Bird just catch on like fire, and it didn't have any promotion at all, really? It was just some programmer in some part of the world who had decided to do this thing, and it just caught on. Like it was so, he had to shut it down. It was so popular. So how do things like that happen?
You do get that. You get these runaway hits, and I remember 4 or 5 years ago it was Temple Run.
That was an awesome game.
White team, out dueling the Zyngas of the world and getting popular. So what happens in the app stores is you're still going to have sort of runaway successes. There's going to be those types of games that just spark some sort of frenzy and catch the word of mouth and go and do extremely well like that. But there's hundreds of thousands of other games, great games that no one is finding and playing. So yes, it is possible to sort of strike gold and get very, very lucky and have a runaway hit, but that's not the best way to build a business, with the hope that you will be one of 200,000. It's a tough thing. But what I loved about Flappy Birds actually is that the fact that it was such a hit and it is such a simple game. It's one of these casual games that you don't need to spend millions of dollars to develop a massive game for it to be a big hit. I think that was one where you see if it's an exciting, fun, engaging dynamic, as a game developer, you could do extremely well. And
well, Rob, wouldn't you say that the majority of the games that turn out to be these massive hits aren't most of them it's the simplicity of the game, it's the you jump up or you fly or it's a side scroller or it's you shoot down pebbles or something like that makes these games ridiculously popular. I mean, Craig, I know you're a big fan of what is it, what's the solitaire game that you
Solitaire
suck down? Yeah, Solitaire Forever, because you spend forever playing those games. They're very simple games. They're
it's Solitaire, but the implementation, and there are a million different Solitaires, but the way they implemented Solitaire Forever is just visually beautiful, and the way it plays is so easy to do. I just got very captured by that. I don't know if you've seen Solitaire Forever, Rob, but it is.
I haven't, but we have a game, it's called Quick Play Klondike, that's super popular. It's a solitaire game. We, but the point is this, and I'm here in New York. I live in the suburbs, but I travel in every day and go on the subways. And you look at the games that people are playing, not notice as you're walking down the train aisle or on the subways.
And try not to be the creepy guy looking at everyone's phone.
Casual games, just fun games, whether it's a match 3, a solitaire, card games. These games are hugely popular and perfect for HTML5 and the mobile web. If you want to be building that next, third-person shooter or first-person shooter game, 3D, type game, yes, go native. Build it in Objective-C for Apple, but millions, the masses love all these various forms of casual games. Everyone has their favorites, and that's an area where the browsers can absolutely have evolved, where a whole slew of these casual games are super performant, and you could build great games in HTML5 for the mobile web.
Well, as he mentioned, I mean, for example, there's a company out there called PopCap. They make some incredible addictive games that and do extremely well with that. I'm not saying every single one they put out there, but most every one they do, they're onto some sort of formula but they're not like a Flappy Bird where they cobble together real quickly. I mean, a lot of thought and a lot of research goes into the creation of a game like that. But what's your comment about what do you think about the games from PopCap?
PopCap has great games. Another example, like probably one of the most popular games, right now. You look at Clash of Clans and Candy Crush. Like, Candy Crush is really a really well done version of Bejeweled, an old an old PopCap game actually. It's about really getting the details right for a lot of those games, and I think art is key. When we work with studios, we demand high quality art. I think it brings a certain an element to these mobile games that is absolutely necessary, and can make even a simple game that looks really good just find some real engaging element to a game, and people could have fun with it. If you have 5 minutes you're waiting online, that could be a great experience. Just launch, doing a little launch game or whatever.
Do you think what it is that you're doing, and we're going to get into more detail with how TreSensa and what you do, but do you think what you're doing is synonymous in many ways or parallels in many ways the music industry, and what makes something a #1 hit, as opposed to, because how many songs are there out there, yet something will just catch it? And it doesn't have to be it could be a fully produced song, but it could be just a little local group, and it just it goes like wildfire. It becomes number one. I mean, would you say that some of the same things that I don't know, make that happen or motivate the industry is what also happens in the gaming industry?
Yeah, I mean, I think to a degree, it's like you can't guess, and that's why you see, look, Zynga, great business, built these great games, but very had a lot of trouble moving to mobile, and even these big studios, you have one hit, it doesn't mean that the next game, even if you have all the resources in the world, and some of these companies, it feels like they do. It doesn't mean that next game is going to capture the public's attention and become another hit. They obviously have a lot of advantages to cross promote the new games within existing games, but it's very hard. And what we are seeing at TreSensa, and we have a sort of interesting perspective because we're working with all these indie studios, and we see what's happening in the app stores is, on one side for these native games in the app stores, I almost think of it as almost like a bit of a Hollywood blockbuster type mentality now, where these bigger and bigger studios with the money are now just pouring money into developing these massive games, and look, some of those games will be big hits and do extremely well, and people love those games, but it's a very hard business. It's a hits-driven business. I think where we are focused, TreSensa, in the mobile web gaming space, is it's more about catering to the indie developers, finding smaller, very creative very creative design games, and getting it out to various pockets of audience that might enjoy that particular genre. Maybe it's a group that really loves puzzle type games, or hidden object, or other types of casual games. Our feeling is like sort of the app stores moving towards that Hollywood blockbuster. We're more about snackable content. People, like I mentioned earlier, you're waiting online at Starbucks, pulling up a game, a 5, 10, 15-minute experience. If you want that, 150 level Clash of Clans, super detailed game, that's going to be in the App Store, and that's the right place for it to be.
Okay, all right. Well, so you think Apple rules the mobile game market? And what's your?
I mean, right now, look, they've done a tremendous job building out, this business, and that is the place to get your game and whatnot. It's just very, very hard right now. They just reduced the numbers in there. For each category of game, they have the charts, and it used to be 250, and I think they just reduced it to 150. At any one time, they'll only show 150 games in their top charts, and to get in there and really, 150. You need to be in the top 25. No one's scrolling down that long to find a game. So, if you like, an arcade game and you're going to look at the top 25 in Apple, and to get in there is just so tough now. So many developers, early on there was this opportunity where you saw a lot of, a little bit of the David and Goliath type story. You'd have small studios like the mom, husband and wife doing Temple Run, kicking Zynga's butt, but the window is slowly closing where, to get into those charts now, there's the cost per install model that is very, very popular. So it's almost like if you have a big budget and you have a big marketing spend behind your game, you're going to have a huge advantage over other developers and studios.
So the problem really is not necessarily the quality of the game, but it's the discovery of that game, and that's becoming more and more difficult, according to you. And I guess so. How does TreSensa solve this discovery challenge?
So what we're doing is aggregating these various pockets of audiences, and you touched on the different areas, and I'll just go over sort of each one so you could get a better feel of it. On the mobile web, there's still there's millions of every smart device has a browser, and so within that, what we are seeing is online game portals, very successful, long time online game portals are now launching mobile sites because they've seen their audience for their flash games slowly diminish, and they could see their business moving to mobile. So they're all launching mobile sites, and the technology that they're adopting is HTML5. So we're working with the top online game portals who are making that shift over to mobile. There's media properties. This is an interesting one. There's a company we just went live with in May. So American Media is a company, and they have various new publications, magazines, and newspapers, and they also have an online site called Radar Online. It's like a TMZ type gossip site. They have sizable mobile web traffic as well as desktop traffic. We are now powering a mobile web game right inside their news feed on desktop and on mobile, where users come to their site. They could check out and see and read an article on Jay-Z, check out pictures of Kim Kardashian, and there is TreSensa, the game of the day. And the first game we're serving into that experience is a daily celebrity crossword game that was built in HTML5 by a studio here in New York. And we're also powering a games tab on Radar Online. So you could see where there are lots of sites, whether it's blogs or publications, who have audiences on mobile, who want to keep those audiences engaged, and the type of content that is best, that's a very engaging form of content, is games. And they've been shut out from supporting games to date because it would involve needing to push that user out of their experience to an Apple or Google to download the game, and suddenly they're out of that experience. Instead, what TreSensa is doing is supplying them with this content, and their user is their user, and their user stays right within, in this case, the Radar Online experience. So there's game portals, these media properties, social networks. Our games could be tweeted and posted on Facebook and Twitter, whether it's in their mobile apps or on their mobile websites or on their desktop sites. And you're tweeting a game, and you get a link, and it's a tap, and the game opens, and you're playing the game. There's no getting taken away and needing to make that decision. Are you going to go download a game in the app stores? We're also working, there's the messenger apps, and we're partners with Kik Messenger, one of the big messenger apps, and they support a whole HTML5 gaming platform and have pretty massive audience, 20 million weekly users of the Kik Messenger app. And again, right within the chat experience, chatting back and forth with a friend, share a link to a game, they just tap the link and it opens and you're playing. I mentioned earlier another area of distribution is the app stores. We wrap our games for the app stores. You're not excluded from going into iTunes or Google Play, but we're also aggregating these other app stores. We work very closely with Mozilla and their Mozilla Marketplace. We work with Amazon and their game center for their Kindle devices. We work with Tizen is coming out with devices starting, I think they just announced in September. So there's a Tizen app store that we're supporting our games in. So the last piece is carriers. So companies like Verizon and AT&T and Sprint and Singtel over in Asia and Claro in Brazil, they are all now starting to launch their own game stores, trying to win back a lot of the money that just dried up when the iPhone came out in 2008. So take all those various channels. What we're doing is creating the plumbing to take. We've created the plumbing to take an HTML5 mobile web game and get it to all these emerging channels and get the game in front of audiences without the upfront cost of purchasing an install all these deals are done on a revenue share basis, so you could really, literally get your game in front of millions of people without any upfront cost.
It sounds to me like you're eliminating, a lot of the, oh, you have to go and download this, and I have to go to a different site to do that, and I have to leave where I am in order to, to do this. So basically, you're eliminating a lot of the overhead of the mechanism overhead, so people can just get right to the game almost immediately.
Exactly, you nailed it. That's exactly right. There's no look, I have 2 kids, and they ask me to download so many. Like every day, I'm getting begged for a new app, which they play for 5 minutes, but because it's through my account, it then gets onto my screen through, and then I gotta, it's a mess. Everything needs to then get updated. This is just tap and play, and boom, you're playing. And a great point, and I think when Apple kicked this off on the mobile side and with the iPhone and gaming, they created the App Store, and the App Store was this curated destination where you would go and find find the stuff you needed, and that was great, especially early on, in that it was a whole new market. People that were new to these devices in their hands. But what we're talking about now is the ability. Why force someone to go to a certain place for this content? Instead, let that content live out wherever people are. So if I'm on Radar Online and I'm enjoying this type of gossip content, right there is a daily celebrity game. Let me just play that right within that experience, or or on any media site. That's I think at the crux of what the value of what we are creating, and that's getting these games everywhere, just making it a borderless ecosystem for mobile gaming.
Now, now are people aware that it's it's a TreSensa is doing this, or they just basically see the game and they can get it immediately? I mean, I'll tell you what, we're coming up against the bottom of the hour break, and that's one of the things that I want to kind of figure out. How I mean, is TreSensa in the loop anywhere, or the consumer is not even aware that this is something that TreSensa is doing, and they're just getting the game and they're moving forward. Charles, that's a wonderful view of your ceiling, by the way.
I know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's okay because the camera's locked over to you, so it does. It's.
That's not locked over me. It's whoever's talking. You told me not to lock it down, so whoever's talking.
Well, no, when the guest talks or you talk, it's locked on you. But when I talk, then it switches to me. But
Okay, all right.
If you don't, I mean, I can make it ceiling. Look, censored.
Well, I can just click you onto you, and then you see now it's always on you again. This is what I kind of like. Yeah, okay.
Webcam firewall enabled.
All right, we're going to take a little break here. You listen to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, and on the IRN Radio Network. Charles Tindall and I are talking to TreSensa, and we'll continue on with them. It's all about computer games in this hour and how easy they can make it. You can get those games. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. Their mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Hi, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of a new Bethesda Softworks game, Wolfenstein: A New Order. Now, from a tech perspective, we first saw Wolfenstein games many years ago on a TRS-80. Many things are improved. This is the first game that takes full advantage of our 2560 by 1600 graphics. The game can go even higher than we can. The presentation is amazing. Now, this is a first-person shooter game. Gameplay is based on a hero soldier in 1960 out to undo a World War II Nazi victory with some amazing, intelligent, kill-anything kind of weapons. There's lots of guns, lots of shooting, lots of getting shot at, plus a familiar game economy of armor, and ammo, and health. This is not a game for people who are unable to separate in-game mindless violence for fun from reality. Bottom line, Wolfenstein: The New Order is a howling romp of a combat-based shooter game. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin review for Computer America.
I still feel like somebody's dialing into my brain every time that thing takes over.
You don't like that music, Ben? I think it's kind of...
I think, but no, I'm still getting used to it. I'm just like, God, it just dug into my brain.
Yeah, well...
It's weird. Anyway, welcome back to the Computer America Show. We are talking to I can't say the name. TreSensa. TreSensa.
Yeah.
TreSensa about HTML5 games, and we're having some fun. You know, and that's kind of how games roll around on these great things. We talk about them and we play them. Now, Rob, what is your hot game right now? What is the one that everybody flocks to, and do you know why?
You know, within our base business, our catalog right now, it's more based on sort of breadth of various casual game genres. So it's not like we have not had our sort of breakout mobile web hit game yet. You just haven't seen that. We think it's coming. We have a few titles that are in the works. So, you know, bigger and better studios are now diving into HTML5, and these are studios who know how to monetize and build great games. Some former EA game developers and designers. So a game is actually coming out within a few weeks that we think will be probably the best mobile web game out there. But you know, to date, it's more about the plays we get across our distribution channels. It's these casual games. It's the you know, whether it's a puzzle game, launch game. This crosswords game is doing well, but it's not based on one particular title. Where we have seen lots of success as well, and this is kind of interesting, that the companies, as we got going as a business a few years ago, some of the first companies to come to us, like the developers have taken longer. It's only in the last 6 months that we've really started to see bigger and bigger studios start to really make the switch. I think there was a lot of hesitation early as far as what performance would be on mobile web, but those concerns are going away. So studios are really starting to jump in now, but early on, brands understood the value. So they, you know, very costly for a brand to to do a game in a native game, because they do it in, they have to do it in Objective-C for Apple and Java for Google, and then keeping an app updated and getting discovery. All those issues were sort of huge challenges for brands. So some of our earliest clients were brands, and we did a game, as an example, a year ago for True Blood. HBO has the True Blood series.
Yeah, I've watched it from its beginning. It's in its final season. This is the new episode's coming up. I think in another week or so, and then it's going to be the last season for it. But I found it very entertaining.
Yeah. So that show last year we met with the head of social at HBO. It was in the spring, and season 6 was coming. It was two and a half months away, and they wanted to do a game and saw the value of the mobile web, because they already had 10 million Facebook fans for True Blood. They had 500,000 Twitter followers of True Blood, and they struggle as a social team. It's hard to figure out what do you say in 140 characters every day to your audience. So doing a game where they could just tweet out the game and it could be instantly played. It was a very compelling opportunity, and we worked with them. We did this game and actually translated the game into 23 different languages. Each of the various HBO offices around the world now had their own little marketing tool, a game that they could use to engage their audiences. And within the games themselves, we support and have built-in game services like a social leaderboard. It's a Facebook leaderboard. And so for HBO, they a few weeks before the season started, the whole theme of, I guess, that season was the war between the vampires and the humans, and so this was a chase game where you had a mob of humans chasing one of the vampires, and she needed to escape and capture vials of the blood, and a fun game, 3 levels, and it included this Facebook leaderboard. And what they found was they sent it out to their audience. Their audience loved it. The super fans were always wanting to prove that they were the biggest fans. So the engagement time of the game was off the charts. You had a lot of people trying to vie to be in the top 10, and it was a great experience. And that's an example. We've done a game more recently for Scooby-Doo WrestleMania game. They did Warner Brothers and WWE teamed up. They did a DVD mystery, Scooby-Doo WrestleMania mystery DVD, and they worked with us for a game to help promote the DVD. And what was interesting with that game was, we also work very closely with Amazon, and at the end of that game, users could click right through to purchase the DVD. You could both watch a video trailer or purchase the DVD, and that's something, the purchase of physical goods is prohibited in the app stores, but on the mobile web or on WWE's website, mobile and desktop, and on Warner Brothers Zoink Point site, there's the opportunity for users, to enjoy the game, to then make a purchase, and it doesn't just have to be a digital purchase. So it's been interesting seeing brands jump in as well, and those games have been the bigger hits. Our studio games, they're all great, casual games, but there's no Candy Crushes yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's obviously it's moving in an interesting direction. By the way, just out of curiosity, are you a mobile gamer yourself?
I am to a degree. I'm more old school. I like the very simple, fun games like you were mentioning. Like one of the early iPhone or Apple games was Paper Toss. I still love that game, and I'll play it all the time. And there's certain games. Any game where you have to land an airplane, I tend to like those games. But I'm not. I never was a big console gaming guy. Much more Atari than old school Atari than console.
If you ever get a chance, just just download and try Solitaire Forever, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I mean,
Okay, I will. I will.
You'll like it.
I'm writing that down.
So tell me about some of your most popular games now that you're doing with TreSensa.
So I mean, ones that are doing the best. You know, we have there's match 3 games that you know, we have some fun ones where it's various characters and really good art, and those are very popular. I'd mentioned the Quick Play Klondike, which is a solitaire game that is doing extremely well. The newer games that we have coming out, there's now a sort of a racing game that is 2.5D that is a studio partner of ours out in Vancouver, who just crazy good graphics, and you know, we're excited. We literally just started distributing that game, but really trying to open people's eyes to see, you know what, you could have great native quality games right directly in the browser, and all these other benefits that we talked about earlier of discovery, of you know, just getting people to enjoy and play and share games. You know, when you think about it as far as sharing, it's hard, you know, with a native game to share a native game. It's, you know, I might have an iPhone, you have an Android, you know, do I want to download the game that you're playing? It gets tricky, but with the mobile web, again, where you're just sharing a link, there's no, and it's just tap and play, and in seconds you're playing it. It's suddenly sort of that whole social nature that works so well on desktop for Zynga and through Facebook, all that becomes possible again on mobile, where it doesn't matter what operating system, what phone, what device, you know, what manufacturer.
Well, what you're saying, that was the original vision of the internet, that it was supposed to be platform independent and anybody could do it. You know, of course, that's not how it originally panned out. You know, then it was very browser sensitive, and some would work, and it was platform. But it's supposed to be platform independent, browser independent. That's the way the web is supposed to be, let alone the mobile web. You know, and so and we're seeing that happen, but. Let me ask you this question, because I mean, it's right here. I mean, do you think there's a shift away from mobile gaming and back towards consoles because of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4? I mean, what do you think?
I don't. I think there's always going to be both. I think why I'd say that they're more complementary than one sort of winning and stealing audience is that. Really, thanks to you know, I mentioned them a few times. Thanks to Zynga, back in the day on social gaming, like a whole new, you know, all different demographics are now playing games, and in, you know, for various you know, people and demographics, certain types of games resonate. For, you know, moms and soccer moms and that whole demographic, it's you know, there's a set of games for them, and it tends to be more casual, and it tends to be more collaborative. You know, for teens, I think that look, you ask anyone what their games are like, it's always these console games. But I think the big thing with mobile games and why they will, you know, you're not going to see a shift back is people basically have a computer console in their pocket. These phones are getting stronger and stronger and better, and you know, you have time to kill. People love, you know, there's a great enjoyment that people get in playing these games, and when they do have more time, and you know, and they could be home on a nice chair in front of a big screen TV with a console and a headset, that's great, but you need some time, and you know, and that could be your evening activity. But when you're you know, on the train or have some spare time, you have your phone and you're going to be playing games there. And again, it also depends on your you know, your demographic. I think there's games for everyone now, and what's great to see is you know, not too long ago, games were, you know, shunned upon, and it was, you know, viewed as you know, only a few groups are really, the teenage boys are the ones playing games, but now everyone is, and so there's games for everyone, I'd say.
Now, so if you were to try to, come up with specific elements of what makes a great mobile game, what do you think they would be?
We touched on early simplicity. I think for a mobile game, the ability to pick it up and intuitively, within seconds, sort of understand what you need to be doing.
Not to have to read a manual, not to have to read an instruction manual to play it.
Exactly. I think what happens sometimes is designers, game designers and developers with a little too much time on their hands, they try to overthink things, and people respond to simplicity. And if you could make simplicity beautiful, like your solitaire game or other things like that, that's what I think. That's where I see the more successful opportunities.
Well, yeah, of course, with the solitaire game, there's an intrinsic understanding that you have to understand how to play solitaire. So that's
exactly.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
So you can't really pick up a solitaire game without understanding the rules, or most card games. So you do have that, but you're right. I mean, there are games that you can play where you really, it's almost intuitive as to what the objective is, and you can infer from that. Now, card games really don't do that. I mean, you kind of have to understand how to play those. But I was saying, for those who understand how to play a particular card game like solitaire, they're going to really appreciate something that's where it's implemented in a visually stunning manner, and that's always good too. What do you see? What do you see as the future for mobile games?
I'm very bullish, and it's just amazing how much. How I describe it now is I see mobile games as really becoming a dominant media. The amount of time people are spending playing games on these devices, and now with tablets, the proliferation now of tablets out there. 67% of people's time spent with their tablets is spent playing games. So
that high? That high? 67%? Wow.
So 2/3 of people's time spent on their tablets is spent playing games. So, with that, it is becoming a dominant media, and with that, I think there's the opportunities as advertising dollars. Like, part of what we're doing too, as in distributing these games, is we're tying in, giving developers various monetization choices and advertising. So that's why. Really see brands and these branded games we're doing and the branded advertising that we're supporting. Brands are waking up to the fact that this is a dominant media, like a TV, like print, or like radio, and games needs to be in that equation because of the amount of user attention it is getting, and I think you're going to see the dollars really. A much larger portion of the dollar. The amount of money going in right now is much lower than the actual percentage of user time being spent within this media. So I think you're going to start seeing a shift over the next 5-10 years of much larger budgets going towards advertising in and around or as games.
Well, there are some games that are basically you're taking them from the physical world and pulling them into the virtual world. Like, just a perfect example of that are like pinball games. You don't really you don't need to read a manual on how to play a pinball game. Pretty much, what the objective is. Try to keep the little ball, from going down the tube.
Yeah.
And of course there are some amazing pinball games out there. I've got a couple of them on my iPhone that are just visually stunning, and the way that they work are extremely fluid and interactive. From you get different perspectives of the game. Games like that, do they tend to hit the top of the charts just because of how good they are, or is it still we looking for the game like the Flappy Bird and the games that have something kind of unique to them? What would you say? What's your
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to say. I do feel like the pinballs, like even like I'm just making an analogy here on desktop. You know, so many of these the slots games, like with just crazy good art, you know, digital, you know, not even, you know, not for real money type stuff, but you know, you have so many different versions of those. People eat them up. They love it, like because there's something inherent in the art and the beauty and you know, whatever unique features are. Even though it's a slots game and you're pulling down and you know things are spinning and like you were saying with your you know the pinball games you're seeing, I think there is value there, and people will are hungry for that type of content, and you know that's the type of game, you know, getting games that really get to the core of what people enjoy. To make bets on what will be the next hit, I don't think, you know, it's so hard to tell. There's no rhyme or reason to it other than, you know, at certain time and place something hits and there it goes.
Yeah. Charles, looks like you're involved in a games of some sort on your smartphone.
No, not a game. Just I've switched back over to my Nexus, and I'm just getting things set back up. That's all.
No, okay. Okay.
No game. I am actually very, very, like, the only time you'll catch me mobile gaming is when I'm stuck on a plane. You know, other than that, I don't do too much mobile gaming. I mean, and when I am mobile gaming, I'm like knee deep in a geeky game of Risk. So.
Well, yeah. We got a couple minutes left. I want to ask you, why do you think Apple and Google are pushing for mobile game exclusivity? I mean, what does it mean, and what do you think the impact of that will be?
You know, I think look, if you're one of the studios that they're fighting over, you're in good shape, because if you could get featured and get that sort of special hand-holding by an Apple or Google, that's great because of the sheer size of their audience and what getting featured will mean. I think the issue is there's, you know, again, there's only so many companies that will qualify that they're willing to do those deals for, and it tends to be these bigger studios. I think the independent studios who are building really high quality games are getting, you know, I tend to describe it as there's a bit of a like a dead zone with these apps that are sitting there that are probably better than, you know, most everything in the charts that just no one could find unless you knew the exact way, you know, name of the game and could you know, type it in and somehow find it. There's all these apps that are just sitting there, dying a slow death.
Yeah, you hear the game representatives, you know, so all of a sudden our sales went through the roof. What happened? Well, they gave us some plug. Apple gave us a plug. We appeared, and the moment that happens, you know, their sales go through the roof. But there's so few and far between. I mean, there's so many of them out there, you know. And Apple will have, you know, editor's choice, and they'll have all these different categories. I know they're trying to distribute more, but there's so many of them out there, it really becomes impossible. And so that's why your advice to some of these companies are try to, you know, I mean, should they approach TreSensa and see if you can help them out? I mean, is that what you're doing?
Yeah, you know, and so you know, just overall, the HTML5 game mobile web market, like, there are great tools emerging. So TreSensa has game development tools that we give away for free. You go to TreSensa.com and go to the developer section. But even there's other tools starting to merge, other engines that we support because we want quality games to distribute. So you know, we're partnering with others in the space to really just start to create this ecosystem where studios and developers could have an alternative, and what we're seeing is a lot of demand for this, a growing demand for this type of content. And you know, at the same time, as a developer, you know, your game can always go in the App Store. An HTML5 game is easily wrapped in our technology. You know, that's part of service we provide is we'll load the games in the app stores for you if you want them there. We just feel like the bigger opportunity exists in these other emerging channels, and that's what we're trying to promote and foster and really starting to see the whole space start to heat up. So it's an exciting time, and I think not a lot of people are aware that there's these alternative places for games, and it's just a matter of people seeing the quality and starting suddenly, more and more. You'll just suddenly see a game in front of you, and you're going to tap and play, and we think that's going to become the norm, and this open web type concept where you're not being forced to go someplace to go get it. It's right there in front of you at the right time as you're viewing a certain type of content that you like. Wow, right over here, there's a game. Here's a link. Boom, and you're playing.
Sure. Well, if you go to the Computer America website and you go to our show notes page, you'll see today's date, June the 5th, 2014, and you'll actually see a link to the TreSensa website. There, you can check it out with the description. You can see what we're talking about, and if this is something you might feel that's appealing to you, or know somebody who's writing games and doesn't know where to go, and they can't, they don't want to go through the big Apple machine or the Google machine, tell them to check out what TreSensa has to offer them. Listen, Rob, I want to thank you for being with us here tonight on the show. Very interesting, and it's nice that you're offering yet another alternative to all these people out there. And thank you so much for being with us here on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This was great.
All right, you take care and good luck to you. All right. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so there you go. All right, there is hope for the smaller.
For the universe?
For the universe, yes, there is. TreSensa.com. And again, just go to our website at computeramerica.com, where you find all kinds of interesting things. Hey, coming up in the next hour, Charles, we're going to have computer and technology news. We're going to do that, and also, you finally got your Google Glass back on. Is it?
Well, we got a new update today, and
is it working?
Yeah, that's what I've been piddling with my phone and my Google Glass with.
Wait a minute, the light is on. Does that mean you're taking a video of me, right?
I am the Borg.
Exactly.
I am the Borg. I am seeing right through you.
So we're going to talk about that, and also we're going to talk a little bit about the Reset the Net, the net neutrality. It's on today, and that's what the banner on Charles's video. So we're going to be talking about that, and we have some interesting news stories that we'll be discussing as well. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, the Boost Radio Network, and the IRN Radio Network. Really, just head over to our website at computeramerica.com. You can see all the things and all the places where you can listen to the show and hear the show. We have some really special, great deals right there at the homepage. Now, click on the limited special offer for our friends over at ProXPN. We got a really great deal going with them right now. And again, it's all spelled out on our website at computeramerica.com. .com, yes. Oh, boy. Oh, tomorrow is Friday. You gonna catch the new Tom Cruise movie?
I might watch that movie just because I have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it makes no sense to me.
Well, it will if you go see the movie.
Once I do that, yeah.
Exactly. We're gonna be right back. We're just gonna pause just for a quick moment, and then we're gonna start hour 2 of the Computer America Show with Charles Tendell, certified ethical hacker. I'm Craig Crossman, your host. We will be right back.
Broadcasting live. It's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America. Hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Why don't you bring it back? See if you can.
You can't do that. You always you gotta kind of send me a message ahead of time for that one instead of being like, here, Charles, you do it. Drop in lap. Really?
Hello and welcome to Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
Torturing Charles Tyndall by dropping the intro back to the second hour in his lap. I mean, like, had you sent me a message or something that said, "Hey, bring it back"?
Like, keep you on your toes, you know.
That's not on your toes. That's like, no, what? Because you get into that routine where it's like he does the great and powerful Charles Tyndall, or whatever it is that he does.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it's like, Charles, you do it. What? Huh? You want me to do what? But okay, don't worry. I'll be prepared for it from now on.
Okay. And I'll never ask you again. No.
I know, right? Now you'll never ask. It's like I had my one shot. You blew it, Charles. Like, man, let's rewind that one again. You could even play the intro music again. That's what you should
do. That, yeah, exactly. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? But anyway,
broadcasting live. It's the
And then it goes, hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computer and technology. This is the Computer America Show, and I am your host, Charles Tyndall. Oh, no, wait, what?
Okay.
And that person who just got out of their cage is Craig Crossman.
All right, so, yeah, we're going to do Hour 2, so what we're going to do is we're going to do some computer news, and we're also going to talk about this Reset the Net. I know that's a hot topic right now.
Big deal.
It's kind of all started today, and we'll kind of fill you in as that as well. And let me just point out real quickly that what is that?
What is what?
Oh, I thought you liked the music or something.
No. You ever get one of those where like you're going to burp and then you're just like, nope.
No, you can't do that.
You can't do that? Like, I feel a burp coming. Nope, not going to do it.
You can't do that. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to start Hour 2. We're going to do computer and technology news, and let's see. No, we don't do our show reminder one of the week. That's tomorrow. We'll do that. Okay.
I think
all of our contests at computeramerica.com. Check out our contest page. Go to the first pull-down menu. You'll see all our great contests there. We have our Logitech contest where we give away 3 great prizes. That's ending this month, so you need to check it out and make sure that you register. That finishes Friday, June the 20th, at 12 a.m. At 12 midnight. So you want to make sure you're registered before that. And of course, our show reminder winner of the week. That's every Monday. Excuse me, every Friday. We draw a winning name from our show reminder subscribers. So, all right, well then let's do some computer news, unless you have anything else you want to mention before we get started, Charles.
I am the board.
Okay.
All right, but we can do computer.
Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free.
Free.
Okay. Free. Everything there, completely free. It will clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system. Again, it's you get them. They're completely free. They do what they say they do. We use them here at the Crossman household. Charles uses them. All of the Computer America staff use it. They do the job. And again, it doesn't cost you anything, so why not do it? And you'll be very happy that you did. And you're going to thank us for it, putting you onto them. Okay. All right. So this first story, Keurig. Now, we have a Keurig coffee system. My wife loves it. She's a coffee person. She cannot start her day without her first cup of coffee.
We're not coffee people. We're tea people. But
it makes great tea too. But yeah, it does. It makes wonderful tea. But she's a coffee person, and so we have a Keurig, and it makes 1 cup at a time. It just makes a really great cup of coffee. I'm not a huge coffee fan, but I do like coffee. It's one of my favorite flavors, so I do drink it from time to time. She has some of these exotic flavors which I just don't like pumpkin coffee. No, she's got or gingerbread. I don't like those. But they have Kahlua coffee, which is wonderful. They've got some of the flavors are really really good, so I enjoy those. But anyway, according to the story from Gadget, Keurig's coffee copy protection should take just months to crack. Copy protection? What's copy protection got to do with a coffee maker? Oh, read on.
I'm like, what do they do? You have to what?
What?
They've got what is it when they have music protection?
Yeah, copy protection.
Right, with copy protection on the music, it's a DMA, DMD, or whatever.
DRM rights management. Yeah.
DRM. There you go. They've got a DRM on the product there, so you can't take it and stick it in anything else.
Well, but what does that have to do with a cup of coffee? So I'm going to read on because
don't they have a Starbucks flavor, don't they?
Yeah, they have a Starbucks line of coffee too. Yeah, exactly. But much like printer makers being cheap ink, much like printer makers borrowing cheap ink, that's a big issue. If you have an Epson printer and you can go out and you can buy these recertified recharged cartridges, and then of course they say that's going to void your warranty because they spend millions of dollars in developing these cartridges, and yet they have these places where you can do it, and they claim it's as good. Anyway, this is all that snafu, which is another story. But much like printer makers borrowing cheap ink, Keurig is using elaborate methods to block third-party coffee pods. That's right. Remember?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, because it's a little pod, or so you can put it in there, and in its upcoming Keurig 2.0 machine will have cameras that read tags and limit you to official brews. Oh my gosh in heaven! Think of it as K-Cup copy protection.
That's horrible.
I mean, we have K-Cups. I know they have a number of different standards. K-Cup is one of the most popular one. Can you imagine if you go out and you buy a K-Cup from a third party, and then your brewer won't make it? It'll say, "Sorry, we're not authorized to brew this cup of coffee."
I think that's just retarded. I mean, they don't make money on maybe they do.
They make money on the coffee.
But that's just stupid. Why are you gonna? See, this is just another example. They want to control the market for all of these things, but they're just going to alienate a bunch of people. And there's really, genuinely, you know what I'm going to end up doing? They're going to be like, oh look, we've made our own K-Cup that you can no longer use anyone else's. I'm going to take an official K-Cup, and I'm gonna make it sticky, like make a sticker, and stick it on top of my illegal K-Cup and be like, look, done.
Yeah, but you see, what is it? The View, the one of the Keurig's latest ones, the View. It actually scans it, and so it knows what kind of coffee it is, and then it brews it in the correct manner and everything. You would sacrifice that because then you would put it in and it wouldn't brew it properly.
See, I just want it to brew coffee. Yeah. I don't need special temperature coffee. I don't need. How did Dennis Leary put it? Look, I don't want maple nut crunch. I want coffee flavored coffee. Thank you. That's it. Okay, not honey roasted, not butter pecan, not chocolate flavored coffee. Just
I'm sorry, I like some of those coffees. Some of them really taste good. They got chocolate coffee. They got all these really great.
Why don't you just drink like chocolate milk or like?
Well, I do, but but the point is, some of them, the Kahlua and coffee, they got some really nice flavors. They've got.
All right, I'll give you that one. That was pretty good.
Yeah, they got some really great coffee flavors. All right.
I might actually have to go and have one of those tonight.
Yeah, it is. It's good. Try it. They also have.
We've got the Kahlua. We've got donut. We've got a donut.
Donut shop. They have hazelnut coffee. They got some really nice flavors. But anyway, according to this article, they want you to think of this as K-Cup copy protection.
K-Cup copy
protection. Yeah, I mean, this is just getting bizarre. Unfortunately for the company, those added measures may be for naught. Treehouse Foods, which sued Keurig for allegedly abusing a monopoly with its 2.0 system, now estimates that it should take just a matter of months to replicate the K-Cup technology. The discovery should keep Treehouse selling unofficial pods that cost significantly less than Keurig's, and it could also thwart similar protection schemes in other companies' coffee makers. I can't believe that I am reading this. This is just so bizarre. I realize, look, I understand money makes the world go round, and Keurig is evidently thinks, they're going to lose money. I just, I'm sorry. I can understand printer inks, because when you have, let's say, an Epson printer and you're using their cartridges, and then you get a remanufactured cartridge or something, and then something goes wrong with it, and it leaks, or it doesn't, it's not as good, and it ruins your printer. Guess what? You're out of printer. So I mean, I can understand certain things. And I understand that Epson goes and spends a lot of money in developing their inks, and these companies that make these copycat inks don't, they don't go through the expense and
See, I agree. I see where you're going. They don't go through the expense of doing it, but we're in a crappy economy still. If I can save a couple of bucks by recycling or buy an off-brand, I mean, next thing you know. Now, mind you, do you eat a lot of cereal?
Not a lot, but I do eat cereal. I like cold.
Okay.
I like cold cereals.
Yeah, I like cold cereals too, but actually there's some cereals that are supposed to be cold, but if you warm them up, they're even more delicious.
Okay.
Weird. But like we learned this, when you have a family as large as mine, you start trying the off-brand, right? Yeah. Like kids love the Fruity Loops, right? They love the Fruit Loop cereal. Don't know why. Just love the Fruit Loops, right? One day I was like, I'm not going to tell them, and I bought the cheap like bag brand of the Fruit Loops, right? Put it in a little bucket. Kids started eating it, and then they were like, "This is delicious. This is a different kind of Fruit Loops." And then one of them goes, "It's the bag Fruit Loops."
Ford says they're going to call it caffeine rights management.
Caffeine rights management.
Okay, so let's continue on with this article, because I'm finding this strangely intriguing and disturbing at the same time. Keurig hasn't yet offered comment on the potential workaround. This is from, again, the Treehouse, that they're going to try to figure out how to get around the protection. But it isn't likely to take any challenges like lying down. Like Nestle and its Nespresso system, okay, Keurig is protecting a razors and blades sale model where it sells the base product, which is the brewer, for little to no profit and depends on pricey add-ons, which is the K-Cups, to make up the difference. So I don't know, I have a Gillette razor blade, and I went to buy some blades. I almost fell out of my chair. It was like $40 some odd for the blades. The razor was almost free. I mean, it was very, very inconvenient. But to buy the blades, it's $40 to $50 for blades for this razor.
You could join dollarshaveclub.com.
Oh my gosh! I mean, it's just awful. I was watching a TV show. Was it what is it, the Pawn Stars guy? Have you ever watched Pawn Stars, that TV series?
It's actually funny. Do you know the car that the old man drives?
Yeah.
I can't remember whether it's a 50s Lincoln, but I think it's an old school Lincoln, and it's like driving my Continental is exactly how I feel. Like I feel like I should be dressed in a black suit with a fedora.
But the guy from Pawn Stars, he did a commercial for razor blades, and he was hawking this new razor blade, and it was like the old-fashioned Gillette, razor blade that you buy, and he said, and guys like this used a blade like this in World War II and had wonderful results, and and said, just why do you want to buy a 3 or 4 blade system when one blade will do it just as well? It was just kind of funny to watch it do it.
Well, I mean, it's true. I mean, this is it's the same principle that I hear about all the time. It's the why is it better? Like this is something that people ask me all the time. Why do you drive classic cars almost like your daily driver? I'm like, because in 1971 and 1966 these were people's daily drivers. They're like, yeah, but cars are so far improved. Like, okay, name me 5 features that your modern car has that my classic car doesn't have.
Auto start. You start it up from the inside the house, so it warms up or it's refrigerated before you get in the car.
I can add that to my classic.
Okay, yeah, that's the same.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, and people get into my Oldsmobile, right? And they're completely shocked. I've got satellite radio. I've got Bluetooth connectivity. Like I've got Bluetooth hands-free.
It's not the original vintage version. You've beefed it up.
They didn't make that stuff then, and I added the convenience features. Yeah, but that's my thing. The core of it is still that car. It's the same.
Right.
Everything. It's the same with a razor. You get a razor that's like,
Well, did you add cruise control?
It had cruise control.
It did have control.
It has cruise control already.
Right now, for example, I have that. It has like 5 blades in it. It's a Gillette, and even within those blades, you can buy like regular premium and super premium. You can buy additional.
That's the thing. Like you pay $25 for the original set, and then the pack of 5 blades is what, $10 each?
Yeah, more, and depending, because you can get a deluxe version of them, and of course the one that I have has a built-in vibrator in the handle, so you push the button. So
you seriously need need a vibrating razor.
Yeah, it supposedly gives you a better shave. Now,
does it?
Yeah, well, actually, I have to admit, I went back. I got really disgusted with it, and I went back to my, the disposable single blade razor, and it was not as good a shave. I mean, I could still feel the beard stubble, whereas the other one, it was smooth as a baby's. You know what? So
all you gotta do is push harder. You don't need that top layer of skin.
And blood gushes out of your face.
Push harder.
Push harder. Exactly. No, that doesn't.
So did you see the shirt today?
No, I haven't seen the shirt.
You gotta look at the video.
Okay, let me see what the shirt says.
Yep. See, so it's just a bad day.
Bad day.
A bad day.
Friday the 12th, he missed it. Okay.
No, it's the day before. He's thinking, oh, I get to go kill people.
Oh no, he missed it. Wait till next month.
Yeah.
Anyway, so as I say, like Nestle and the Nespresso system, Keurig is protecting a razors and blades sale model where it sells the base product for little to no profit, and it depends on the K-cups to make the difference. However, the word of circumvention technique suggests that there might not be much it can do to stop cheaper alternatives from reaching the market, at least in the short term. All right. It also echoes what we've seen in attempts to combat digital piracy. Ultimately, there's no completely foolproof way to prevent copying, and that has been the truth.
But I mean, it's like this. Why do they want to prevent copying? Why not just go to these little companies that want to imitate them and charge them a licensing fee?
Yeah, give them some.
You know, like a small licensing fee. Look, for every box that you're selling at $20, $30, or $15 a box, we want $1.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that is more reasonable than saying, yeah, I just want to block all of you from doing this. And the more you block them, the more bootlegging you're gonna get. Literally, you tell a whole group of people that no, you cannot do this. They're gonna turn around and be like, oh, you think, huh? Challenge accepted. Oh, Craig,
dogs were barking. Sorry.
Huh.
Anyway, yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. You know that.
Hey, it's blurry. Look at that.
So here it is. So there it is. Copy protection for coffee makers. I
think they're just going to waste their money.
I mean, I understand where they're coming from. At the same time, you know, people are not only going to buy the cheapest coffee. Look, the people are motivated. They're motivated. The fact that they buy a Keurig in the first place means that they're tired of getting the instant coffee. That they are people who appreciate good coffee. That's why they're buying a machine. That they're spending $150, $200, even more for a coffee maker that's going to produce good coffee. So right there, you're dealing with that mindset. And obviously, if they get some other coffee and they put it in there and they don't like the way it tastes, or it's not as good, they're going to go back to the other brands that Keurig makes, because Keurig makes several different copies under several different labels, and so I think that the market itself is going to dictate what to do, and of course, if TreeHouse doesn't make as good a coffee, and they had to produce better coffee, then they're going to spend more money, and then their coffee is going to cost just as much as the Keurig coffee is. I think eventually, in the long run, it's going to work itself out.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, people are buying these coffee makers because they have discerning taste. They really like their coffee, and then you're going to buy a coffee that tastes bad or it tastes inferior. They're going to go back. They'll try it one time. They're going to like it. They'll go back to the Keurig coffee.
Exactly. See that? I mean, that's what like we've got in our house. Like we don't use the Keurig for coffee. Now we've got two guys. We've got the Davids in my office. Oh, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What?
Well, not necessarily you. You remember several months ago we had David Wilson.
Yeah.
Titan Info Security, who came onto the show for my Hacker Week.
Yes, I remember that. Mm-hmm.
David has partnered up with Azorian Cybersecurity, my company, so now we work together.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, he handles a lot of the legal aspects of the things that we do, and we handle all of the technical aspects of the things that he wants to do. So it was kind of a match made in heaven. It was really cool. So I guess I should thank Alf. So shouts out to Alf out there at Red Team USA for hooking us up and putting us all together. And it seems to be beautiful. We're going to be out in California here soon. Doing some stuff together, and I'll have to harass David Perry and see if we can get tickets out to the Magic Castle.
Oh yeah, you'll love that. You will. You really will love that. That Magic Castle is a treat, and you'll enjoy it. Okay, well, so there you go. Keurig and copy protection.
That's what I was going to say.
What?
In our house, where the Davids, they're huge coffee fans. Like if you approach them before they've had their cup of coffee, you will get cut. Mm-hmm. Like David comes in and he looks, he's like, "There's coffee time," and he goes and he gets his coffee. The other David he comes in and he will not speak until that Keurig has pumped out the coffee into his mug, and then he's got this really cool mug. It's got the what's the Doctor Who?
Yeah, Doctor.
What is the thing? The phone booth.
The TARDIS.
The TARDIS. When it's cold, it's on one side of the cup. When it's hot, it disappears and appears on the other side of the cup.
I've seen those.
It's a cute cup, but he doesn't even speak. He comes into the office. You're like, "Hey man, what's up?" He's like, and then like that first sip of coffee is like, "Hey, what's up? What's going on?" Man, something's wrong with you.
My wife is the same way. Don't talk to her. She had her first cup of coffee. But
how
again,
is she doing?
She's doing better, but she's still got a ways to go. But that's. But the thing is, as I said, I think this will work itself out eventually. People are looking for quality, and if they don't get that quality, they're going to go back to where they know they can get it. And I think it's on itself. Okay, but again, just reading the story just makes me go, "Oh my gosh!"
So you're a coffee drinker, huh?
No, not a big one. She's the big coffee drinker. I drink coffee from time to time, but not that often.
Yeah,
but I will say that my favorite flavored ice cream is coffee. I love coffee ice cream.
Actually, you know what one of my favorite ones are? I've got three. My top three are butter pecan, Rocky Road, and pralines and bourbon.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
You don't drink, so you may not like the bourbon one.
No, but you know what is it? The other thing that I like is what is it? There's another flavor. Ben and Jerry's ice cream. They have all those flavors. I really enjoyed. But coffee ice cream. They used to have a flavor called White Russian.
Ooh, yeah.
It was all kinds of different flavors and stuff with coffee and coffee liqueurs and everything. And it was wonderful. But they stopped making it. I don't know, years ago. But that was one of my favorite flavors.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, you pick a story.
Okay, let's. Oh, how did I end up with that story?
I don't know.
Well, it was just funny because I remember what I was looking at. This story coming at you from TechCrunch.com. Google's Project Tango tablet is a $1,024 7-inch Tegra K1 powered device with depth sensing. Ooh, what does that mean?
I don't know.
No idea. But, going on, Google has added some new development hardware to its Project Tango, 3D depth sensing mobile project. A tablet development kit made its debut today, boasting a new NVIDIA Tegra K1 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage, and a 1080p display. Stock, Android 4.4, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, LE, and 4G. What is LE? Bluetooth LE, low energy. Okay. Yeah. And 4G LTE alongside 2 cameras and rear depth sensor for the special depth sensing magic. What the H does that mean?
Okay.
The tablet, previously only a rumor, will be on sale for $1,024 USD when it launches in late June. But developers who are interested can sign up to be notified as soon as it does get released. They're available in limited quantities, says Google, and aren't meant to be consumer devices. You still have the option of checking a box to reveal whether you're actually a developer or not when signing up. However, when signing up, so presumably anyone can apply. Though Google will be gating access, so they'll probably favor people building things for it.
Okay.
Engadget has a full breakdown of the Tango tablet in action, including a description of some early software experiences. Originally, only 200 Tango development smartphone kits went out to devs back in March, but the tablet is supposed to have a wider initial scope and test pool. The possibilities around gaming are particularly interesting, and Engadget says big names in the community, including Unity and Epic, are already working with Tango. If you're new to Tango, check out what ambitious projects Google's Advanced Technology and Research Division is all about. In our previous coverage, it features a special chip made by startup Movidius, and it unlocks a whole world of potential terms of novel mobile experience. I still have no idea what this is, so I'm going to click this button here.
You're going to watch the video?
I might watch the video, but I really... Oh, wait. Still, what the hell is this? I still don't know what it is. Okay, here, wait. So clicking on another one. Going on the Project Tango. Let's see. Google today announced Project Tango, an Android-based prototype 5-inch phone and developer kit with advanced 3D sensors out of its advanced technology project. Hold on. Using its sensors, the phone doesn't just track motion, but it can actually build a visual map of rooms using 3D scanning. Cool. The company believes the combination of these sensors with advanced computer vision techniques will open up new avenues for indoor navigation and immersive gaming, among many other things. That's okay. So imagine you walk into a room. Ooh, wait. You remember what was the Batman with Joker? With Joker in it, the new Batman Begins.
No, that was the next one. That was the Batman was the next one after Batman Forever or something like that.
The first one with Christian Bale in it.
Yeah, that was Batman.
Do you remember? Right. Do you remember when he walks into the shop, he puts the phone down, and the phone does this map of the entire building?
Yes.
It's like that. Yeah. It's going to use 3D sensing, so it's going to be able to know, if you're walking around and you hit a bump, it's going to detect the bump. If you move it left or right, it's going to detect this. If you take it and you do a circular motion around a sphere, it's going to be able to, calculate the sphere itself. So that's pretty cool. I'm still waiting for their they had one project where it was a modular phone.
Yeah.
They basically killed somebody else's idea of having a modular phone, but it's a great thing where what's the biggest thing that you upgrade your phone for?
The OS, the operating system.
Okay, so the operating system stays the same across the board on all of them. But you get a better camera. You don't replace the whole phone. You pay $100 and get the camera module upgrade. Okay. And you snap it onto the backboard. You want more storage or you want more battery, you can take out the parts of the phone that you don't use regularly and add a bigger battery. It's just a really cool concept. Yeah, we covered it months ago.
Yeah, I remember it. I don't know if it's ever going to take off, but
well, Google came out with their own thing. I don't know whether they sucked up the company who was originally doing it or not, but it had promise. I don't know if it will take off. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still bummed that they haven't announced the iWatch yet.
Don't worry. I honestly, the further away we get from that, the more I think Apple's not going to do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at that Moto 360. That's coming out later this month, by the way.
You want the Moto 360?
Yeah, the watch. I might have.
It's an Android watch. You know that, right?
Yeah, but it will work with the iPhone.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll have to wait and see. We got more computer news stories coming up. Also, the News Tips Bulletin with Marty Winston talking about the new Seagate backup drive. This is the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network and the Boost Radio Network and the IRN Radio Network.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 120,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy and major car companies filing for bankruptcy, Cover America Auto Care has announced revolutionary, inexpensive mechanical breakdown coverage that is now available to the general public to save consumers thousands on auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for drivers to call who own a vehicle that is less than 10 years old for a free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number is 800-483-2514. Drivers who are covered with this auto protection will not have to pay for a covered repair again. This is the auto coverage now sweeping across America at a fraction of what dealerships charge and is now available to the public by calling today. The number to call is 800-483-2514. 800-483-2514. That's 800-483-2514.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable, cut costs, and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Hello, this is Marty Winston for Computer America with a News Tips Bulletin review of Seagate Backup Plus. Backup Plus might just be yet another hard drive, but for the Seagate Dashboard desktop app and the Seagate Mobile Backup app on smartphones. We'll ignore that the desktop dashboard app wants to back up your computer and social media. We'll focus on the handset, and we will note that when you're away from your base Wi-Fi, the mobile app also lets you back up to a cloud drive until you can get back. An email address and password in both the desktop and mobile apps is how access control and restores get governed. Bottom line, we like the idea of being able to back up all of our Android devices to one small Seagate drive. And Backup Plus lets us do that. This is Marty Winston at the News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Mute button. Thank you for that, Marty. The news, I'm telling you, it still sounds like somebody's dialing into my head. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. You know, get in on this conversation. Talk to me or Craig. You got our numbers. You know where how to find us. All that other stuff. Craig, you're seriously going to buy the Moto 360?
I was considering it because it's the nicest looking one out there. I mean, it looks. It's round. It doesn't look like the square, clunky, computer thing. It looks like a very nice watch. And
I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, man, I'm gonna be that guy, wearing Google Glass and the Motorola smartwatch. Like, this is gonna get out of hand fast. But I'm looking at all the pictures that I've seen, and I did sign up for their developer announcement. I am definitely going to get in on that one. That is gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it looks like look at just the watch faces. It looks almost like a real watch face.
Yeah. Well, it looks transitional. Oh, that is beautiful.
Yeah, you can just touch it and slide it. It's touch sensitive. But and so even if it doesn't interface with my phone, it's not a big deal. Just as long as it gives me the time, the date, and some of those watch faces.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at this thing.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. Like, I would definitely do this.
Yeah.
I would definitely do this. Like, I would rock that all day, every day, and just be like, could you imagine just sitting in a meeting and being like, oh, look, you've got another meeting in 15 minutes. And it's the appropriate place to be looking at it, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, you get another meeting notification, and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
And then it turns into a regular watch, or you get a Hangout notification. Oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah, no, but it's full color, and the graphics look photorealistic. I mean, it looks like a real watch face. So I'm really considering. You know what I'll do is I'm going to have to go see it. I'm going to try it out, and I'm sure it'll be at a place like Best Buy or something. I'll go look at it and see, and if I like it, I'll get it. If not, then I'll just wait.
When it comes out, you and I both will probably rocking one.
Exactly. All right.
Look at this thing, and look. I mean, like I'm looking at the band. I'm looking at the band on it. The band is really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm really
looks like a dress watch. It looks like.
Well, you can choose between the bands.
Yeah.
What I'm really wondering is look at the back on the image on the moto360.motorola.com.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like that could be used as a sensor.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the image, so you can send me the link. But all right. Anyway, we're doing computer technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, and see. So this next story here is PayPal. This is according to 9 to 5 Mac. PayPal is reportedly planning to integrate iOS 8's Touch ID in a mobile payment app.
I wouldn't trust PayPal as far as I can throw them, but continue.
Well, Apple unveiled the Touch ID, during its WWDC earlier this week. Users and developers alike immediately started considering possible uses for this thing. It seems PayPal was also quite interested in putting the fingerprint technology to work in its mobile app. According to the Business Insider, several PayPal developers attended a WWDC session on the new API, and the company is actively considering its implementation. The idea here is likely to get a head start on Apple, which is currently said to be working on its own mobile payment service in conjunction with several major payment processors. When we'll see PayPal's Touch ID update is unknown. The iOS 8 software that's currently in beta will need to become publicly available first, but unless Apple plans on announcing a payment service alongside the next generation iPhone this fall, PayPal could be the first major company to launch Touch ID-powered mobile payments. Because you can use Touch ID right out of buy, when you anything, on at the App Store or on iTunes. You can use it to so you're putting your name and password. You can use the Touch ID to implement a payment, which is this. But that's the only other thing. Other than that, it's just simply to lock and unlock your. Unlock your phone. That's what I use.
For now, WWDC, they did announce that they were opening it up to third-party apps to be able to utilize Touch ID. So don't be surprised if you start seeing login-capable apps that make unlocking and locking things even more capable. Payment things is probably the next one we're going to go to. And remember if we rewind to the Target breach, talking about chip and pin systems and all that, what did I say was on the way? Alternate payment methods using biometrics, using things like Touch ID to make payments. Now we've already got near field communication in the Android devices.
Yes.
Now it's going to make it that much easier. It'll even make it even more easier for people to carry around electronic, maybe Bitcoin wallets and authorize purchases with the touch of their thumb on a pad. Swipe, Bitcoin wallet, bam.
Or finger.
Or or toe, or some other strange object that you've decided to put on there.
Or your nose.
Actually, will it work on your nose?
I don't know. I never tried it.
Hold on, I've got my 5S sitting right
here. Oh no!
Turn this thing on.
You do a story, or is it my turn to do a story now?
Were you finished with that story?
Yeah, I finished with that story.
Okay, so then I'll take this one because it's going to go along the lines of net neutrality and all that other high-speed stuff, which we'll get to here in just a second. From VentureBeat.com, Netflix is name-checking Verizon for its crap network, and Verizon doesn't like it one bit. Yep. How can you leverage mobile to increase profitability of your company? Wait, what is this? That's an ad. Sorry. When big phone companies get into serious public relations problems, they usually call the lawyers first and ask questions later. That's exactly what Verizon did after Netflix began posting messages at its site calling out the carrier for poor video streams on Wednesday. Wow. Netflix is not singling out Verizon. Anytime streaming performance goes south for one of its members, Netflix detects what ISP the member is using and posts one of these. And it's an image that says, Verizon network is crowded right now, adjusting your video for smoother playback. Or payback. Netflix says it's only testing the messages and adding that it's not it has no intentions of bowing to Verizon's wishes.
Yes.
Verizon says it's not at fault for pixelated or interrupted streams. There is no bias for Netflix to assert no basis for Netflix to assert that issues with respect to playback of any particular video session are attributed solely to the Verizon network. Verizon says in its cease and desist letter to Netflix.
Wow, they're touchy.
Yeah, go bite me. As Netflix knows, there are many different factors that can affect traffic on the internet, including choices by Netflix in how to connect to its customers and deliver content to them. Now, anybody else who's been paying attention to the net neutrality argument, or if you haven't watched the John Oliver last week tonight video about net neutrality, you understand how much BS this sentence is right here. Okay, Netflix is directly saying, or Verizon is directly saying, you know what? Netflix, had you chosen to stop fighting this and pay us the additional fee, we wouldn't screw with your stream.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're saying right here. So you can see right through it. Again, now that I've said it, tell me if it sounds familiar. As Netflix knows, there are many different factors, so this is from Verizon, many different factors that can affect traffic on the internet, including choices by Netflix in how to connect its customers and deliver content to them, interconnection between multiple networks, and consumer in-home issues, such as in-home wiring, Wi-Fi and device settings and capabilities, writes Verizon's public policy chief in a letter.
Why is it only happening with Verizon? Please.
It's not. It's happening with everyone. This was Netflix's response to your screwing with our connection, and people are paying attention now. Okay, and you know what? The more verbal I get about this, I guarantee you, I'm going to go home tonight. I'm going to put on my favorite Star Trek Enterprise episode, going to curl up with a hot alcoholic beverage, and I'm going to get Comcast sucks right now. And I'm like, darn. You know, because I mean, honestly, this is the game that we're playing right now. This is the battle back and forth that is happening right now. Okay, the conglomerates, the cable companies are positioning themselves to be able to control to either to squeeze out, like choke you to death, or give you everything you want depending on how fat your wallet is. And it shouldn't be that way. You know, and I'm waiting for the powder keg to go up when people finally realize you should not be able to do this. But we're in a position now where people aren't paying attention. They don't care. You know, they just don't. They do not care at all. They're numb to the stupidity and to the ignorance and to the craziness that these people are going to do. And you know what? You and I, we're going to be in a unique position to actually feel this when it happens, right? We're going to start to have people saying, well, I mean, already you do realize that the stream is about 30 seconds behind us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's FCC regulations. That's got to be 30 seconds behind us so they can censor things, right?
Yeah.
So that if I drop an F-bomb, they can bleep it out. You know, or something like that, or you have a wardrobe malfunction with your webcam firewall.
Well, now you should read that last paragraph.
Okay, let's see. Where's the last paragraph?
It is true.
It is true that Verizon manages only the last mile of the broadband network, but Verizon has already extracted payment from Netflix for the right to connect video servers directly to the carrier's network. And Verizon holds that that still isn't enough to guarantee solid streams. Holy beep! Okay? You paid us and we're still going to screw you?
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, Netflix paid you. Paid you. And now they're saying, well, you know, it's not our fault. It shouldn't be. Like in the above statement, they're saying, look, there are all these different factors to this, right? All these different factors. But Verizon controls factors A, B, C, and F. Connecting Netflix to their infrastructure, transporting that already, mind you, remember, Netflix came up with whatever brilliant proprietary algorithm they have to ultra compress a video stream to be able to push high definition video and uncompress it at the opposite end.
Yep.
Okay? So they're not using up a lot of bandwidth, right?
No.
Verizon controls the connection from Netflix to their infrastructure, from their infrastructure to the home user. They do not control the crap inside the home user's network, but then they control the final point where it's actually where they're allowing the decompression. So that's the only thing they can't touch. They can't say, well, you don't have gigabit Wi-Fi in your home, but Netflix doesn't require that. Netflix can get by, mind you, can get by on a 4G, 3G even network connection, and they're good because of their compression algorithms. This is Verizon screwing them. We took money from you. You didn't pay us enough. Now all these other things are happening. Get on board with us controlling the infrastructure, and we'll go ahead and fix this problem for you.
Who writes those compression algorithms? Are they mathematicians?
I don't know.
Would have to be. I mean, think about it. It's all math, isn't it?
Something.
Yeah, it's math. It's amazing technology. Yeah. Well, anyway, interesting story.
Oh, Craig?
Yes?
Do you have a caller?
Oh, I don't know. You're right. I do. I'm sorry. I did not see the caller. He's coming from the. I need to check that out here real quickly. Let's see where. Yeah. Let me see where he's calling from. 262. That is Wisconsin. Okay, he's calling us from Wisconsin.
Jeez.
Yeah. Let's go. Caller Wisconsin. Computer America. Craig Crossman. Hi. How can we help you?
So I've been listening, and there's not been a lot of talk about this whole net neutrality. Can you guys be more specific on how I can protect myself? I mean, I even saw George Takei on Facebook promoting it.
Promoting net neutrality? No, wait. Now you have to clarify which side of the argument. Which side of the argument is George Takei on?
Last week tonight video.
I missed that.
Well,
George Takei was played Lieutenant Sulu on Star Trek. You know.
Yeah. I mean, so wait. And a caller, I missed you again. Was he for net neutrality and stamping out the crap that the politicians are trying to work on, or is he for the bill that they're calling net neutrality?
Oh no, he's for stopping this whole net neutrality. I mean, one thing that I did notice that I haven't heard talked about yet is that you can actually comment through the FCC.
Oh yeah.
Oh, we talked about
he posted on his Facebook page.
Yeah, we actually talked about that the past couple of days, and Ben was co-hosting the show at the time. And
Monday,
we gave out the FCC .gov a website, and we actually posted one ourselves just to show that it could be done. We did do that.
Well, okay, so here we have to clarify again what the net neutrality thing is. Okay, on one side of the coin, you've got the internet as it sits, right? And we talked about this last night with Mike Cermak. You've got this size pipe, it's whatever size it is, and we all jump on the internet and try and do different things. And instead of the provider providing a big enough pipe or increasing the size of that pipe based on its client base, they're trying to find a way to prioritize traffic at the ISP level. So they're trying to say, well, this kind of traffic needs priority. Okay. So now they're turning to both the consumer and the person providing that content and saying, you have to pay more to get this kind of stuff. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen with this, sadly, is the consumer, like yourself, Wisconsin, are going to get screwed. It's the cable providers are going like the companies aren't going to pay into this. Netflix paid into it and they're regretting it, and you see what they're doing. If you were listening to the last article, they're battling it. They're like, you know what, you're screwed us. We're going to continue to protest this one. You have the control now, but people know that this sucks, and we're going to continue to fight this. The cable companies are going to continue to not give them the priority that they paid for. Eventually, these companies are going to say, screw you, Netflix paid, they didn't get anything else, we're not paying either. If this bill fails, they won't get their way and be able to charge the content providers more. So they're going to turn around, they're going to charge the consumer more, because they're going to say, look, this is the type of information that's passing through your infrastructure. We need to be able to increase the way that works. We're going to charge you more We're going to increase our rates and give you dick. Nothing. We're going to make up the funds that we are losing because of the advertisers and the other people on our infrastructure. So it's a lose-lose situation on both sides. Either companies like Netflix pay several $1 million to pay to play, or the consumers each will end up paying several $1 million to make up for the lost revenue of the cable companies. And this is why things like the FCC.gov and like you found on Facebook and we talked about on Monday, FCC.gov is pushing, come in, do your comments, go there, and if you haven't yet, go there to fcc.gov/comments and put in your views of this one. Go out and do a little research first. Go out and read both sides of the story. Read the proposed bill summary. They're out there. Do a little Googling. Get informed. And then based on your opinion and how you feel about it, go and voice that First Amendment right and say, look, this is stupid. But in my opinion, it's going to be the people who have the deep enough pockets will be given the ability to push their message however they want it. If suddenly they decide that they want to tell us all that the sky is purple, they're going to push it. And they're going to be like, look, the sky is purple. Okay, the sky is purple. That's all that's going on. That's the message. The sky is purple. Those of us who know the sky isn't purple, we're not going to be able to say anything.
Caller, what you think?
I fully agree with that. I mean, if big businesses are trying to say that, for a high-speed internet you have to pay yada yada amount, but oh wait, you can also pay even more for like a hyper-speed internet. Well, to me that just sounds like you're funneling bandwidth, and I don't support that at all.
I think they should do.
I also have to ask, by any chance is your banner any sort of relationship to this net neutrality?
Well, the banner itself is actually different. It's the banner itself is to resetthenet.org. What that is, and if anybody's listening, if anybody's watching the stream, he's referring to my lower third. What happened today is the anniversary, the 1-year anniversary of the first series of leaks from the NSA about how they were mass monitoring the internet for individuals. And the movement itself is about, the reason they're able to do this is people don't secure themselves. They don't use private browsing techniques. They don't use VPNs. They don't use SSL. They see the security of their own information as, they don't really need to do it because it works just fine the way that it is. Organizations like the NSA and other 3-letter government agencies have been abusing that for years and been able to suck down otherwise private information from open airways because they're not encrypted. And that's what that is about. The resetthenet.org movement is out there to tell people that there are tools that you can use, and particular sites, Computer America is participating, all of my business sites are participating, I'm participating, I'm actively, advocating this, but it's out there to say there are tools that you as an individual can use to be able to protect your own information, and they're very simple to do. Things like, again, using a VPN, website owners, forcing SSL or secure socket layer throughout their website. Let's see, app developers adding a level of security. Google came out with their end-to-end encryption ability now. So Google's already forcing SSL on all of their stuff, so you can't really get in there. But now you have the ability to encrypt your email from me to whoever else. So if I'm sending an email to Craig and he may not have a decryption mechanism, he can open up a Chrome browser and it will decrypt as long as he has my public key and be able to exchange that information, or my private key, or however that one is. I can't remember.
So, caller, it's two different issues, but they're sort of like semi-related. So
two different issues, but still scary. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, then my last question would be, Mr. Tyndall, what would you best recommend for me, the consumer, to use to protect myself?
Well, it really depends. It really depends on what you're doing. But at a basic level of security, whether you're Mac or Windows, is use a VPN. One of our sponsors is ProXPN. They've got both a free and a paid version. And if you go to proxpn.com and use the promo code COMPAM, you get a 20% discount on a year subscription. It's still relatively cheap, but you get that. And then you turn around, and that actually wraps all of your network traffic in a tunnel that, insert three-letter government agency here and your ISP can't monitor. That's one way to do it. And it may slow you down a tad bit because because you're routing through different servers and things of that nature. But the added benefit of that is that you end up with a secure communication between you and somewhere else that won't necessarily be easily intercepted. Hackers and the Fed are both, products of paths of least resistance, highest yield, and that'll just make it harder for them, and they'll go on to the next target. Another one, if you're on an Android or even an iDevice, change to secure messaging. There are tools out there like Text Secure, and there are tools out there like Chat Secure that allow you to send encrypted messages between your friends and yourself. If you're on Android, it's usually you can also install a tool called Red Phone, where now you can make secure encrypted phone calls, so those can't be intercepted. If you've got the capability on your mobile device and on your computing device to do whole disk encryption using either the built-in Lux encryption if you're on Linux, or the File Vault if you're on Mac, or I don't want to really say it, but even Windows has a built-in one. But there are options out there for you. Doing that level of encryption protects you again. And I know some of these sound like they're kind of paranoid, but going that extra step. For example, if somebody jacks your laptop at an airport, all they get now is a brick without your passwords, and they can yank the hard drive and put a whole nother one in, and now they've got all that, but your data at least is secure.
Hey, Carl, listen, we're pretty much out of time, but hopefully those are good questions. Hopefully Charles gave you some good answers.
Oh, wait, there's one more. On your mobile device, if you have the opportunity, I don't know, I don't think it does it on iDevices. I think it does it naturally on an iDevice, but you can turn on disk encryption for your mobile device as well. So if you lose it or it's stolen, that doesn't get sucked up.
Anyway, Carl, thanks so much for asking those questions. Hopefully that'll help, and we hope that you keep listening to the show, okay?
All right.
All right.
And from one Trekkie to another, Mr. Tendell, live long and prosper.
Yes. Take care. Have a good evening. All right, there you go. Wow, we're pretty much out of time. We don't have time for this story, but again, we've given you some links, and again, resetthenet.org, one that you should definitely check out, and it went active today. So you can see that, and
yeah, definitely check out resetthenet.org. Get in on the VPN thing at a minimum. Check out proxpn.com. You try the free version first. What I do recommend for any VPN provider that you use, review their privacy logging first. Mm-hmm. Some of them I know, some of them out there that I know of, they give you the ability to route your traffic, but immediately tell you, we keep logs of this, so we will hand it over to the appropriate people. So check those first before you jump on them. But proxpn.com, use the promo code COMPAM and get, is it 20% off?
20% off any of their membership, and not only that, it's for life. You get it. So basically, if you get the yearly, it's like less than $5 a month, and it's certainly worth it to protect your privacy and anonymity.
$5 a month times 12, that's $150 a month.
90 seconds.
No.
$150 a year. I don't know.
A year, exactly. Yeah, and again, just it's CompAm. It's on our website at Computer America. Just go to our homepage. We have this. It'll take you right to the special page there. Just click anywhere there, and you put the code in, and all the prices will drop down by 20%. Coming up tomorrow night, we're going to have Malware Bites on the show. This is good. We're going to be talking about the FBI bust on Blackshade malware and what that was all about.
I broke that story.
60 seconds.
Yeah. So that's we're going to have Adam Kujawa on the show. He's the head of malware intelligence for Malware Bites. This is going to be on the first hour. That's going to be a really interesting show. And then in hour 2, we'll have more computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Hey, good show, Charles.
I'm out of bourbon.
There it is. You'll be able to find it.
Count it!
Yes, exactly. So thanks for watching the show, and Charles and I, it's going to be Friday, gearing up for that new movie, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
I still don't know what that's about.
So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes
floppy or intercepted by the federal government.
10
that too.
seconds.
We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
All right, so we're finishing our live video stream. I'm going to say goodnight to everybody in the chat room.
Good night, everyone, in said chat room.
Yes, and by the way, he called you Mr. Tendell. I like that.
I like Mr. Tendell.
Yes, I like
Mr. Tendell.
I think I'll start calling you Mr. Tendell now, right?
Mr. Tendell. I'm torn because I'm an Army NCO or an ex-Army NCO, and it's you don't call me sir, but I guess Mr. Tendell works. I think that's okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listen again. Thanks for watching the show, and I hope we will see you tomorrow night. It's going to be with Malwarebytes. It's going to be a very interesting hour. We look forward to it. Okay?
Trust me, I'm going to be for there. Is it 1 hour in the first hour or the second hour?
He's going to be on for that first hour. Exactly.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
All right. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow night. Say good night, Charles.
Good night, Charles.
Or Mr. Tendell, whatever you figure.
Mr. Tendell.
Okay.